Hey everyone, it's Fox from modelmaking.guru here, and we are back with another commission built diary for you. If you've watched my other ones, you know it's just a series of quick catch-ups throughout the course of a commission. I don't film commissions because I don't want to be distracted, but it's commission central right now at Guru Towers. So what are we building? We are building another Gundam. Yes! Oh, this is my newfound addiction, Gunpla. I could stop making every other kind of model in the world, especially U-boats. Just if I could just build Gunpla. Look, Tony. Geeky hands, look. Right, so anyway, enough of that nonsense. What are we building? We are building the Wing Gundam from Endless Waltz. If I understand correctly, this is the latest, or the most recent issue of the Wing Gundam. Came after the version K. But it's very similar in a lot of ways. And although it's not labelled as a version K, all the Endless Waltz models seem to have sort of version K stickers and decals, so they're kind of a crossbreed between a standard master grade and a version K. So there you go. Let's have a look at the side of the box. Just make sure it's in focus for you. You can see what we're going to be building. Now I have to say something now, and this is something that bugs me senseless all the time. Especially, not necessarily just Gunpla kits, but it seems to be really prevalent in Gunpla kits. One thing that drives me nuts, and absolutely nuts, and almost more than you filming in portrait mode, which is, just don't film in portrait mode ever. I'll just point and laugh at you. One thing that bugs me is people that put up videos on YouTube saying, review, it's a review of such and such a model. And all they do is what we're going to do, which is basically unbox it and show you what's inside. This is the first episode, so I'm just going to show you around and see what we've got. These kind of videos, for those of you out there who make YouTube videos about model making and do that, they're not reviews. They're just unboxings. A review is where you have the model finished and you say, this is why it's really great, or these are the things that suck about it, now I've built it and can tell you that. Getting the bits out of the box and saying, look at all these parts, this may be awesome. That's not a review, that's your opinion, and it's an unboxing. So just, I had to get that off my chest. It drives me insane. That and portrait mode and holding the camera in your hand so it's moving everywhere. I mean, I don't make the best YouTube videos in the world. Like, you know, I've got an iPhone and a few lights. I'm no professional. But, so anyway, rant over. Don't call them reviews. They're not reviews. So anyway, this is the guy we're making. Let's go inside the box and have a look. It's kind of awesome. Big ass beam rifle. Buster gun, I think it's a Buster gun. My terminology is a little lacking. I don't think it is. We have ammunition shield. Got these big ammunition clip racks for the gun, and we've got these big ass wings on the back. They're not wings that open out like this, sadly, but they still look kind of awesome. Let's get the box open and have a look, and let's also just change the focus again. Lovely artwork as ever. I like the fact on these Endless Waltz ones, the artwork on the box seems to be shown them weathered, which is great because that's what I do. Put the box down there. So, if you watch the Heavy Arms build, it's actually the same client. If you watch the Heavy Arms build, you know exactly what to expect. It's essentially the same thing, or any of the Gunpla videos I've done. What has we got in the box? I've not even opened it up yet. We have, let's have a look. Good old A-frame, always multicoloured. I love the way they do this with the different colours. My favourite part of any Gundam, apart from the feet, the V-fin. Love it, love it, love it. Lots of nice colour distinction in the red and the blue. Parts for the shield. All the white parts for the wings, and shield again. Look at that shield, this is kick-ass. All the panel lining is going to have, I'm going to have fun with that. Armour. Legs. See, I'm getting the hang of this now. Legs, head. I have an issue with this head, and I'll tell you in a second. Legs, more wing parts, beam saber parts, green, I like the green, and darker grey parts for the interior frame and other parts. Some more frame on there as well for the legs. So polycaps, yay! I like polycaps. So that's the parts. I'm just going to keep this quick and brief because it's just an unboxing video. It's nothing special. Destruction booklet. Typical Bandai, all Japanese. I say this every time, but it never changes. But again, a thing I do like, they call out the ABS parts, so you can see which parts you don't want to cover in really hot thinners and paints, because they'll just crumble and fall apart. Usual build, start with the torso, then the head, arms, legs, wings, except this goes to wings before legs, so not the usual format. And then all the decal call-outs. I do like their instructions, they're nice and clear. If you've never made a Gunpla kit before, just go and get one and buy one. Go for a master grade, they're just awesome. Nothing really spectacular in here. Yep, it's got the standard colour section in the middle, with all the things that I can't read that tell me all the wonderful things that I've got no clue about. So, brilliant. As you'll know from the Heavy Arms one, I did try watching Endless Waltz. I watched about 6 episodes, my brain broke and I had to give up. So then I started watching Gundam Build Fighters instead, and that was much more approachable. I absolutely adored it. So then I started watching Gundam Build Fighters Try, and that's equally adorable. So I like those two. The rest of it, I can take it or leave it. So that's our destructions. What else do we have? We have sticker sheet and dry rub transfers. Won't be using any of those, apart from maybe the shiny stickers. And even then I might not be, I don't know yet. Stickers. These are the dry rubs, they're the stickers. Don't need those. I got myself some Gundam decals. Well, I thought I got myself a set of the Gundam decals for this. However, because there are approximately 40 billion different versions of the Wing Gundam, on closer inspection it turns out I've actually bought the decals for the version Car Wing Gundam, which looks a bit different to the Endless Waltz Wing Gundam. However, spoken to the client and he's happy, the registry number's the same, he's happy to go along with these because it's mostly little caution signs and warning markers, and then you've got the little markings for the registry and stuff. So it doesn't really matter, it's basically the same thing, it's just a slightly different version. But it's all little caution markers. Client's absolutely happy for me to use these, so brilliant. We're using water slides exclusively. I might use these, the shiny stickers. I mean, they are handy for things like the cameras and stuff, because I can paint them green, use gloss varnish, but they'll never be quite as shiny. And the thing is with these, you might varnish over these, they still stay shiny. They're quite hardy. So yeah, we've got the decals, water slide decals. Now there is one issue with this kit, and I'll get this out so you can see it, so you're not just looking at reflections. Well, there's a couple of things I know about this kit that I'm not looking forward to. Well, no, one thing I'm not looking forward to. And you can't have perfection every time you make a kit, even Bandai can't make perfection, is the head. In the Heavy Arms kit, let me zoom in so you can see that. Hang on. And focus. There we go. I hope that's in focus. In the Heavy Arms kit, these are the two sides of the head. You had the head was two sides, chunk, and then you have this crest at the top was the third piece that went over the top, and it neatly covered up the seam between the two halves of the head. This one, the crest is moulded on, and it's got panel lines going along it like that. So I'm going to have to put that together, fill that seam with glue or putty, and then sand it out without removing these panel lines that go over the top. But then, of course, because I've had to glue them together, I have to put the face mask in before I do that. So I'm going to have to put the face mask in, glue the two halves together, sand it down and somehow carefully not remove all those panel lines. And then I've got to do all the priming and painting with the faceplate in, with the eyes and the painted. And so I've got to mask all that off. So I don't know why they did that. That's a real pain in the bum. We'll get around it. It's not a major problem. It's just a real little, just like, oh, you buggers. So yeah, that's going to annoy me. There was something else as well. The three parts that go on that fly is still in here. That fly that was in the last Freedom Gundam build video. He's still here. Dave, the model making fly. He just whizzed past the camera. He's not dead yet. He's quite hardy. Yeah, the three bits that go on the shoulder. The bottom one has two halves, and you have to put it in and then put the other ones around it. So painting that's going to be tricky, but we'll figure that out. But that is it. It's only a real quick, hey, this is what I'm doing. As discussed with the client, because it's a transforming Gundam, so you can transform it into flight mode, I don't want to put any undue stress and strain on the joints, on these joint parts. So let me zoom out again so you're not looking at massive things. So what we've spoken about with the client is that I'm not going to paint the inner frame, or at least I'm not going to paint it a base colour, because what I've discovered is matte varnish on top of this plastic looks just like you've painted it German grey. So you don't actually have to paint. If you're having the frame this colour, which we are, you don't actually have to paint it. What I might do though, to make up for the fact I'm not painting it and therefore not putting stress on joints, is maybe put in some little details that you're never going to see because they're going to get covered with armour, but putting some little details like little metallic parts here and there, and bits of gold and stuff, just to make it interesting, because I can do that once it's been varnished. But that's the plan, is not to paint the inner frame, so I can assemble it all, matte varnish it, and it's all completely flexible. There's no strain on the joints because there's a primer or paint or anything in there. And I mean, normally I would scrape all the paint and primer off a joint to make it move, but you can never guarantee you got it all. And if you put too much pressure on some of these joints, they're just going to break. And when you've got a Gundam that transforms, that's not something you want. So, and hopefully, in this kit, I won't knacker the pilot figure like in the heavy arms. I won't roll over him with my big ass office chair and break his leg off. Going to be painting the pilots up, obviously. It's going to be a full paint build. Going to stick to the original colours with full prime, full paint, full panel lining and weathering. We're going to use like an oil gunk wash to darken to go in the panel lines and darken the colours, darken the tones of the colours. So it won't look quite as bright and primary coloured as it's you know, on the box art or on the actual model itself. It's going to look a bit more interesting than that. Same with the heavy arms. It didn't come out looking bright and orange and black and red. It came out looking nice and beaten and weathered, but not too much. So that's going to do it for this one. Just a quick what's in the box. I shall do part 2 as soon as I've got a decent bit of progress. What I'm going to do with this one, unlike the Freedom Gundam where I took all the parts off the sprue and then I'm going through priming them, that really is super tedious. Taking 120, 150 parts, taking them all off, trimming them down. There's Dave, the model making fly again. Hello, Dave. No, that's really, really tedious. So what I'm actually going to do, I think, is go a section at a time. So I will take all the parts off the torso. He's back again. Can't get rid of him. Get all the bits for the torso, test fit them all, make sure what I need to paint, what I don't need to paint, get them all primed, get them all painted, put it together. Then I'll do the head, then I'll do the arms. So that way I've not got 300 parts to sit there and snip all the nubs off, because it is super tedious. And you do just want to just, you know, just end it and just stop building at that point. And I think when I move to my perfect grade Strike Rouge, I'm going to do exactly the same, because that's got approximately 80 billion parts. So anyway, enough waffle. This has gone on long enough, and I've just knocked the camera. So yeah, we'll crack on, or I'll crack on. Next one, I'll get some progress done, and we'll see how far we've got. So when we catch up, we shall be hopefully part way through the build, with some painting being done. Until then, stay tuned. I've also got the build video series of the Freedom Gundam, the Master Garage Freedom Gundam, going on. This is a commission build live now, so this gets my priority. But while this is, like, you know, waiting or drying, or oil paints are drying or what have you, I can work on the Freedom Gundam at the same time. So there's one going up today as I'm filming this. I'm just posting it up on YouTube. So today is what is today? Today is Monday the 13th of July, so there should be, that should be up this afternoon. In fact, it's up now. I'm just waiting for it to go live. Hopefully post this up tonight as well, or tomorrow. And then if I'm hopefully, yeah, I've had a long day at work. Can you tell? I need to get my enormous Batman cup of coffee, which is actually about a foot tall and holds a litre. That's my lifeline. Much better. Now I can speak properly. I've had a long day and I'm talking absolute gibberish now, so I shall wind this up before you just all have me certified and thrown away. So yeah, catch up for the next one. We'll have some work done for you. Until then, go and watch the Freedom Gundam build and all my other builds on the YouTubes. Leave a comment, follow me on Facebook and the Twitters. The addresses are at the end of this video and all my videos. And thank you for watching, and until next time, adios amoebas!